I am. How quick are we?
We're ready.
All right.
We're ready.
So Whitney, I've known Whitney for just a couple of years, maybe 20.
I think so,
Very-
at least.
Yeah, at least. Well, you were just a baby. I don't know where to look. So she holds a bachelor's degree in psychology. No, right? Psychology?
Actually, yes.
Can you explain why turtle people are so nice?
I'm still working on that.
Right. Specialized in environmental science from the University of Central Florida, right? Whitney's first marine conservation assignment in a large aquarium led to her to monitor important nesting beaches such as the Archie Carr Refuge, and to become involved in sea turtle rehab and other ocean conservation efforts. She's actively participated in coral reef research, including work in coral nurseries and studies with a long-spined sea urchin. You'll see one of those. Throughout her career, Whitney has successfully managed sea turtle hospitals. In her most recent position, she directed a dedicated team at a rehab facility in Southeast Florida, overseeing all aspects of the center, including the daily care of sea turtle patients and holding the facility's marine turtle permit. And they're no longer around. But because they were leaving the scene, so to speak, Whitney and some fellow compatriots started the Sea Turtle Care and Conservation Specialist Corporation. And she's going to talk about that. We sent her a donation to buy some equipment. It's going to be a facility, a beautiful, big, beautiful facility. Bigger than anything. So anyway, this is Whitney.
Hi, Whitney.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you for that introduction. That was really sweet. I'm going to start out by just saying, obviously you guys know who I am. I'm Whitney Crowder. I'm excited to be here tonight. And I probably have met some of you. I'm not quite sure. It's hard for me to see everyone's faces, but I'm sure we'll cross paths sometime in the future, probably on a turtle transport. But like Roger said, I wanted to give you guys a general overview of who we are. So a little bit about us. We are called Sea Turtle Care and Conservation Specialists, or STCCS for short. We're a 501c3 nonprofit that's dedicated to providing specialized care to sick and injured sea turtles along Florida's southeast coastline. So our team has well over 100 years of combined high-level sea turtle experience. And right now we hold a marine turtle permit that allows us to respond to sick and injured sea turtles, just like you guys. Our ultimate goal is to establish a sea turtle care and conservation hospital in Palm Beach County, Florida. And you kind of already gave a quick background on myself, but again, I've spent over a decade running the Gumbo Limbo Nature Center's Turtle Hospital. Before that, I worked at the Turtle Hospital and ran that facility in the Florida Keys, and have been in the marine science field for some over 20 years now. But sea turtles have been my primary study. They've been my passion and my career for many, many years. And I've been fortunate to work alongside of some of the very best in the field, like you guys. So let's see if I can turn the slide. All right. So along with myself, I have an incredible group of people that I work alongside of, which are my board of directors and my co-founders. A little information about who they are, because a lot of people don't really get the chance to know about the board. They're sort of behind the scenes like you guys. But our chair and our president is Kim Sonderman, and she's the executive director of the Southeastern Regional Sea Turtle Network, which is an amazing organization that brings together sea turtle professionals from all over the region. And our
Whitney,
secretary
I'm sorry. Hang on 1 second. Your screen isn't showing. We see you. So I think if you go down to the Zoom controls, there's hopefully a green share button. There, bottom middle.
Okay.
And it should, if you hit that, you should be able to hit share your screen, or pick the screen with the
How about this?
Presentation.
Can you
Yes.
guys see that? Okay.
Yep.
Well, this was the only slide you missed. So it wasn't that
Okay.
exciting. Okay. Okay, so, and then I mentioned Kim, and so Dr. Kurt Rosinko is our secretary, and he's an expert in sea turtle nesting. He managed Boca Raton's 5 miles of beach for over 25 years until retiring. Our treasurer is Rebecca Germany, and she's the Assistant Sea Turtle Conservation Coordinator at Gumbo Limbo Nature Center's nesting program in Boca Raton. And I've had the pleasure of working alongside her for many, many years. We also have two amazing veterinarians, Dr. Maria Chatham and Dr. Charles Manier, who both have led sea turtle hospitals in Florida for many, many years. And then there's the co-founders, which is Samantha Clark, who ran Loggerhead Marine Life Center rehabilitation program for about 10 years, but has been in the field for as long as I have. Emily Morawski, who worked alongside me at Gumbo for many, many years. And of course, myself. And our mission is simple, provide specialized care for sick and injured sea turtles while promoting conservation, awareness, and action. And really, like, that sums up exactly who we are and what we aim to accomplish, providing top quality care for sea turtles, advancing conservation, and engaging with our community to protect these animals. And the team, the organization was truly built by heart and a whole lot of love. Myself, Samantha, and Emily came from running sea turtle hospitals in Southeast Florida for many years. We've all seen challenges, lots of them. We've seen some wins and the huge impact that rehab can have on these animals. We've also spent many long nights, early mornings, and countless weekends making sure these turtles get the care that they need. So I couldn't be more proud of the team that we've formed and the work that we've accomplished already. And when I say that we have the best veterinarians in the business, I truly mean it. Dr. Charles Manier was the medical director at Loggerhead Marine Life Center for many years and co-authored in the only dedicated sea turtle medicine textbook that exists. And Dr. Maria Chatham and I have worked together through my entire history at Gumbo Limbo. She's basically like a magician when it comes to wound care and is a leader in treating the disease called fibropapilloma, which is, if you don't know and aren't familiar, a debilitating disease in sea turtles that causes these large tumors to grow on their bodies. And I've seen her perform surgeries and save countless sea turtles' lives throughout my years of working with her. And again, our vision is, can you still see the screen? Sorry. Our vision is straightforward: to establish a sea turtle rehabilitation hospital along Southeast coastline here in Florida. We want to primarily serve the counties from northern Miami-Dade through Martin County, which is easier said than done. It's been our focus since day one. But first, we had to establish a need. So we first had to determine if there was an actual need for another sea turtle hospital in the state. And the answer was pretty clear to our eyes. There are currently 14 active sea turtle hospitals in the state. And if you look at the map here, there's a large gap between Loggerhead Marine Life Center and Juno Beach. Wish I had a pointer to show you, but you can see the Juno Beach, the little red dot in Palm Beach County, down to Miami-Dade. When Gumbo Limbo's rehab closed, which was in the center of that, the gap became even wider. Given our experience and history, we felt like we could make a real difference. So I know this is 2023, but the numbers still stay the same to date. So in 2023, there were 1,750 documented strandings of sea turtles in Florida, and a third of those happened in Southeast Florida. On average, each hospital would be taking in around 125 patients a year, not counting hatchlings, which are somewhere in the hundreds to thousands, depending on what facility you are. And that's a whole lot for a small number of facilities to handle. So we knew we could help relieve that load, especially since so many of those strandings are happening literally right here in our backyard in Southeast Florida. All right, since starting STCCS, or Sea Turtle Care and Conservation, we organized offshore releases for, I don't know, well over 1,000 turtles at this point, hatchlings and washbacks, and several juvenile sea turtles. And for anyone unfamiliar, washbacks are just little baby turtles that get swept back onto our beaches after they hatch. And when they're healed and ready to go, they have to be released back offshore, which can be anywhere from 4 miles to 15 miles back in those sargassum seaweed mats that they're going to live in for the first several years of their life. And we've historically partnered with people all along the coastline to get these turtles offshore, transporting turtles from St. Augustine all the way down to Palm Beach County. And we actually call this a turtle train, which I know many of you guys in this audience have probably been part of that turtle train. It takes, a whole lot of work, a lot of effort to get all those turtles down south. But the reason is because we have so many connections down in Southeast Florida, as well as the Gulf Stream is a little bit closer, actually a lot closer than it is up north. So it's just easier for us to help so many people that work so hard to save these turtles and release them down. We usually go down around Fort Lauderdale area. All right. This is just a few pictures of us releasing turtles offshore. You can see in one of these pictures that you'll see a mat of seaweed, and that's what we're looking for when we go out. Sometimes it takes us 2 hours. Sometimes it takes more. Sometimes it even takes a little less than an hour. We'll get lucky. We'll go right out. The weed line will be a couple miles close to shore, and it's an easy day. And sometimes it does take quite a bit of challenge to find the right habitat, but we have great success, and we have amazing volunteers who help us get all these turtles offshore. And we also respond to sea turtle strandings as part of our, the Sea Turtle Stranding and Salvage Network team that you guys are also a part of. And that can be jumping on a boat, rescuing a turtle, swimming in the water, hopping on someone's random jet ski to pull a large turtle inshore, or responding to a hatchling rescue along the coastline. So from the very beginning, our outreach has been the #1 priority. We've participated in film festivals. We've been featured in PBS documentaries like We're All Plastic People Now. Which is what we did in this picture right here. We were presenting this film festival at an event. We've partnered with different breweries. We've partnered with surf shops, local businesses. We've hosted beach cleanups. We've partnered with people for beach cleanups. We've worked with 4Ocean at music festivals. We've done more outreach than I thought I would ever be a part of to just get involved with the community and get our name out there and do meaningful work. And this is just another picture of an outreach event we did at a brewery, at a surf shop. One of our beach cleanups, we work with the city of Deerfield Beach regularly on their beach cleanups. This is an event we do. We've done this 2 years now, called the Ocean Music Festival in Fort Lauderdale. It's a lot of fun. A lot of people are there. We raise a lot of awareness for sea turtle conservation. And this one was with 4Ocean. We also take part in research. This is the peer project with In-Water Research Group that we've been involved with for many years. It's a whole lot of fun. It's an important project. And this project studies the movement and behavior of sea turtles that live around piers. And this information helps with conservation efforts. And the fun part about this project is we do catch these sea turtles at night, because sea turtles are pretty fast to catch. So they're actually sleeping at night. It's a little easier. There's less boat traffic, obviously, in dark night catching turtles. We've also hosted a bunch of lectures. We did some plastic-free events, some boater safety courses that we've been involved with now for a couple of years with the U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary Group. And we even co-hosted the first sea turtle medicine workshop, which offered actual race certification for veterinary professionals. This was the first ever to be able to give credit to professionals, which was really exciting. And this is the big exciting news. There's been a lot of behind the scenes work that we've done, like transporting these massive 12-foot large tanks. Might look easy, but let me tell you, this was definitely several days of an adventure. We got these tanks donated actually from a rehab center, and then we had to find someone to help us transport them. many miles across town on a highway, hoping that didn't fly out of the truck. Just kidding, but it didn't. But it was a lot of work. So we've had a lot of great volunteers help us do a lot of dirty work, a lot of building, a lot of sweat. It's not been glamorous, but it's been a whole lot of fun. And the next slide, speaking of a lot of fun and a lot of work, this is our Sea Turtle Hospital. You guys are actually the very first people that I've shown any pictures to, and we have not gone public with this yet. But we've actually partnered and contracted with the Palm Beach Zoo in West Palm Beach. And this is our 2 large 12-foot round tanks that are divided into 4s. So we can technically admit 8 sea turtle patients at this point. And then it's hard to see from this picture. I tried to attach a video actually so you can see the whole area, but it wasn't working well. So you get this picture, which is big, but this is actually behind the scenes at the zoo. So the hospital, if you're looking at the picture, is sort of toward the right. And then our hatchling tank is also, you can sort of see it towards the right of this picture. So we had our inspection today, actually, from Fish and Wildlife, and all signs are pointing that we passed with flying colors. So our permit, hopefully, with all fingers crossed, should be approved within the next couple of weeks, and we will officially be the 15th sea turtle hospital in the state of Florida. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. It's crazy exciting. It's been a lot of work, 2 years of just pouring our heart out into this nonprofit, but it's all seeming to come together. And that's really all I have. I just wanted to point out that you guys, the Sea Turtle Preservation Society, donated an incredible grant to us that allowed us to purchase part of the necessary life support system to make our dream into reality. So I can't thank you guys enough for believing in us. And I hope to see many of you guys in the future transporting a turtle, or even if you want to transport a turtle and take a tour of our new hospital, I'd love to offer that to you as well. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you so much for letting me share my story. Next time I'm invited, hopefully I can talk more about the sea turtle patients that we're treating and our hospital adventures. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
Well, congratulations on opening. That's awesome.
Yeah, it still feels a little bit like a dream. So I'm like, no, this really happened. It's very exciting. Thank you.
Any questions? Oh, come on. She answers lots of questions.
Was it easier, as hard, or harder than you thought it would be to open a sea turtle hospital? Like, that sounds like
Oh, that's a great question. Harder, probably as hard as I thought and harder. I don't know. It was a lot of work. But for those of you that may not know, my time at Gumbo Limbo, before we were able to talk everyone into building a very small surgery room, for over 10 years, we were actually driving all of our sea turtles 30 plus minutes from, or maybe even 45 minutes at some time, load up all the sea turtles in our van, load up all of our equipment, which was literally like toolboxes full of stuff in a van, drive it up to the Palm Beach Zoo. We had an agreement with them. We had an anesthesia machine, and we left our CO2 laser there at the zoo and in a shared partnership. And they allowed us to use their surgical space. So when this idea of building a hospital with them came to a discussion point, it was almost, especially for Dr. Chatham and I, it was almost like we were coming home. It was a no-brainer. We spent so many years driving turtles back and forth to the zoo. We were very familiar with their setup, and there's a lot of new staff, so we're still getting to know a lot of the new staff there, but it was almost like just coming home in a way. So they're really excited. I think they're one of the last few zoos in the area really that don't have some sort of sea turtle rehab involvement. So we're really excited, and many of the people, even the chiefs there in charge, all have sea turtle experience. So they're very familiar with the ins and outs of rehab and surgeries, and are also really excited to hopefully volunteer and help us out. So it's amazing.
So Whitney, is the hospital going to be open for the public that comes to the zoo?
So they will not. We're behind the scenes right now, and have set ourselves up to have an annual contract with them. Things could change in the future. I foresee the first year, learning a lot and getting to know each other very well. Maybe in the future that could change. They're undergoing a huge, massive expansion right now. So they're building a whole different part of the zoo, which we just learned today that we're in like a quarantine area in the back. So we've got all different types of exotic birds in and out around the area, sloths and monkeys. And now we've learned that we might be really close to some cheetahs while they're moving animals around, and warthogs. So we're really excited about that. We also purchased a trailer, which we've announced it and we've brought it out a few places, but we bought a trailer and we've renovated it into, we're calling it our Sea Turtle Learning Shack. And it's really cool. The inside looks like a sea turtle like lab. And our point of that is to take it on the road and take it to different events. And with that trailer, we're in the middle of figuring that out. We have a camera that we want to live stream our patients and hope that we can share what we're doing at events and also on our website so that people can see our sea turtles. So I know that's a huge part of being able to share your story. Success comes with being able to share your story, and we need to be able to share all of the work that we're doing. So right now we're behind the scenes, but and we're more than able to give anyone a tour, especially if you guys transport a turtle to us. That's not going to be a problem at all.
Good. Yes.
Are you gonna have an opening to the public? Or to have a date that you want the public to see the place?
But it's
Will you be having a date that's like an opening where you're gonna show
Like a
people?
grand
like
opening.
a tour or something?
we're working on that. We are working on that. We're still trying to figure out exactly how we want to roll that out, but I will definitely let you guys know in the near future what we decide on doing.
Cool. That was, Zoom had the same question, so good question.
Oh. Okay. Yes.
So, since you're partnering with the zoo, does that mean, will you have your own extra equipment, CT, or will you have access to whatever the equipment the zoo uses in their hospital?
So it is a shared partnership. We do have a lot of our own equipment, but whatever we don't have, we are able to utilize their surgical space and their surgical equipment.
And for lab work, will you be sending that out, or will you have an on-site lab?
No, we actually do all of our own lab work in-house. So we'll be reading all of our own blood work. Most everything we'll do in-house.
Will you be able to take other sea turtle hospitals' lab work?
That's a good question. I'll have to ask my my assistant if she has time to read all of it.
Any other good questions?
Yeah, there's a few on Zoom. You have a bunch of just thank yous and great news and congratulations and clapping and all that kind of stuff. So everybody's
Thank
happy
you.
to hear this. And then let's see, Janet wanted to, yep, grand opening. And then do you have a goal or expected number of turtles that you will serve?
Gosh. So in the past, I've done we've processed a lot of sea turtles annually. Right now, we really don't have a quote unquote goal. It's really to capacity, what we are capable of intaking because of how many tank space, like the space that we have. I'm sure that's going to change over time. I think the first year is going to tell us a whole lot.
Great. And then go ahead.
So how many tanks do you have now? You said you have a capacity of 8. And are you in a space where you can add more tanks and grow?
Sort of. That's yes, we can take in 8 sea turtles plus unlimited amount of hatchlings. And then we have some discussions in the works of expanding at some point. So that's the answer for right now. I foresee us probably needing to expand. We're just trying to get this first year kind of under our belt and figure out what an annual year really looks like in this new space.
Are you gonna deal with FP turtles?
So we're in the process of fundraising for a CO2 laser. That's the one piece of equipment that we don't have, and you have to have that to intake FP turtles. However, we're experts in that area, so I foresee them wanting us to take lots of FP turtles. So
Okay.
Another
as soon as
question
we get
from
the
Zoom.
equipment, I'm sure. What's that?
Another Zoom question. Do you see a higher percentage of injuries that are boat strikes, entanglements, disease? Which one seems like you see higher percentages?
Oh, well, over the last couple of years, what we've responded to personally, a majority of them are boat strike turtles, especially through this nesting season. We've responded, and I don't know, maybe Roger, you could give some of your input about that with your group. But we've seen a ton of boat strike injuries and large adults, unfortunately, hit by boats. I would say that's the number one thing that we probably dealt with, one of the top things that we dealt with in the past, even down south at Gumbo. And then under that would probably be FP.
Whitney, did you say you had a website?
We do. We have a website. I can send it in the link probably, but it's seaturtlecareandconservation.org. We also have an Instagram, Facebook. We have a TikTok. We haven't really rolled that out quite yet.
There's a question. What's an FP turtle?
So that's the disease fibropapillomatosis. And if you've ever responded to or seen sea turtles that have what looks like large cauliflower growths on their skin, that's the disease fibropapilloma. And all signs point to the contaminants in water and pollution stressing the sea turtles out and causing these growths to spike. But you'll see a lot of turtles that have this disease in like near shore waters. I know there in Melbourne and the Indian River Lagoon, you guys have a high prevalence of sea turtles with the disease. It's funny you mentioned that because down in Boca, at Gumbo Limbo, we don't see a lot of sea turtles with FP, but we did get a lot of them that were transported from other places. So there's definitely hot spots where turtles that live in areas have a high prevalence of the disease. And these tumors will grow over their eyes, on their flippers, causing them to slow down, causing blindness. And that's sort of leads to other complications, starving. And then it does occasionally grow internally. And then if we see turtles that are admitted with tumors internally, then unfortunately they do get euthanized. But if the disease, if we give them an inspection and they look like they have a shot, then we will perform surgery, which is that CO2 laser I was talking about, the last piece of equipment that we need. And that's the piece of equipment that you need to remove those tumors and put them through rehab.
Yeah, we do have a legit question on the laser machine, the CO2 laser. How much is that? We have a volunteer here.
If a new laser that we've priced out is about $60,000, we have been trying to investigate used equipment. So that's yeah, anywhere from 60,000, and then if you get a used one, if you're lucky to find a used one, it is a little less.
Well, one of the workshops, I was qualified to use a laser on a popsicle stick, so I can come down and help you out.
You're hired.
Are they seeing more FP in the Keys? Did I hear? There was last year we were down there and there was a little bit of talk of that, and there was even a loggerhead, adult loggerhead. First
From
time
what
I
I
had seen.
hear, Yeah, from Betty Zergelbach is an amazing person, and she runs the Sea Turtle Hospital in the Keys. And from what I hear, the numbers have really increased. I know that she's talked about specific hotspots in the Keys as well. From my experience years ago, it was in the early 2000s, but it was the primary thing that we treated. It's a devastating disease, so I'm sure it's gotten a lot worse over the years down there.
Yes.
You may have said this and I apologize if I missed it, but are there active nesting beaches where you are, and will your group be involved with nesting surveys and things like STPS does up here?
No, we won't be doing any nesting work. We won't have time for it. I love nesting work, and I've had the privilege to work with some incredible people doing nesting work throughout the years. But we won't be involved in nesting. We will respond to strandings on the beach and maybe volunteer, but that's it.
Yes.
And I know how the FP is being
Can you speak up a
transferred. Oh,
little louder?
do you know how the FP disease is being transmitted to the turtles? Is it something that's, that they're eating possibly, or do you have any thought that you know of?
So that's the question everyone wants to know. There's a lot of incredible work that's being done at the Whitney lab in St. Augustine. Dr. David Duffy has been doing phenomenal work and a great research on the disease. So if you want to read up on it, I know on their website they've got a ton of his publications, but we really still don't know all the answers, which is wild to me that we've been studying this disease for so long. And, you know, the disease was first discovered in the early, 1930s, but we don't really know all the answers at this point. I do know that David Duffy is probably one of the closest people to find answers that there is out there right now.
Any other questions? She's like a library.
Oh, I didn't know. Someone asked about tortoises. I looked it up. They can, yeah, yes, they can hear just like sea turtles. They can hear low tone very well, and they might even hear sounds that humans can't hear that are lower than what we hear.
Wow.
Cool.
So the next question is, do they have turtle language?
Well, Whitney's a psychologist too, so we can get into the whole Yeah, what are they
absolutely
talking about in
communicate.
there? What's that? No, what are they?
I would love to know what they're thinking.
Maybe we can get a grant for that. Start a flipper language. American flipper.
I love it.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear Megan gave you almost a clean bill of health, and hope you get your permit
Thank you.
and let
Stay
us know.
tuned.
We'll come down and spend the weekend at your house. And
I would love that. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
thank you, Whitney.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me anytime.
So the fiber papilloma that she's talking about has been around for a long time. The laser therapy, they just cut off these, they're really ugly, and they're just tumor, and they'll cut them off. And a lot of times they'll hold on to them 6 months or so. But then Hawaii doesn't have many places. They have a similar problem with the disease. So they would laser them off a couple of days in the tank, and out they go. Their philosophy was they're better off in the water. That's where they live instead of a tank. And I think that led to more research, is that if you've got the turtle healthy, the tumors may not come back. It's not a proven thing yet, but if you've got a healthy turtle, most turtles, in fact, one of the veterinarians told me that if they did all the blood work on all the turtles and they spent a lot of time, all the turtles at SeaWorld may have fibropapilloma in their blood. Just, it's not affecting that turtle. And SeaWorld does not take fibropapilloma because they don't want the disease to cross over to any of their other aquatics. And she talked about David Duffy. It was funny, I met him at down in the Keys. There was a guy walking around like this. We have a bunch of people out there at dinner time, and he looked like he was lost. I know that feeling. So I introduced myself. He's from Ireland. And this thing was, can we use cancer treating drugs on turtles? So we don't have to find a new drug. Can we use these drugs? So he's been working on that idea, as well to find the genetics part of it. And he spends a couple of months here and flies back. Yes.
I'm just gonna add to the fibropapilloma discussion. It is a herpes-like virus, and it's a kind of herpes-like virus. And it lives naturally in the water, but scientists, as she said, there's a lot of things they don't know about it, because they've been studying it a long time. It appears that it's mostly greens, although as Joel pointed out, an occasional other species will show up with it, but it's primarily green. They typically tend to find it on juveniles, and so there's areas they perhaps aren't able to fight off that virus yet. As a younger turtle, I worked at the Turtle Hospital for a while in Marathon, and I'm a volunteer over at the healing center here. And most of the patients are juveniles. There aren't very many adults that come in with it. And there are some different strains, and so they're not really sure about the contagious nature of it, although at both of the places that I work, they tend to keep them by themselves, and so they don't want to pass because they're not really sure how they get it. So it's still quite a mystery. Yeah, it's quite a mystery. There's still a lot they don't know about it.
The only thing they figured out, they linked it to weakened immune systems.
Yeah.
So if the turtle's overwhelmed with immune responses, it can't if it gets too many things to deal with or it's not healthy, then it can't fight it off any longer.
It sounds like humans problem too.
Well, it's definitely, the theory is it's related to our pollution. And the lagoon, it's also, the dolphins have a very similar, or Indian River Lagoon dolphins have a very similar disease. And then the Keys.
The tumors typically grow on the soft tissue, so the flippers, their eyes. And as she said, if they are internal, there's almost nothing that can be done. They almost always have to be euthanized. There's no way to treat it internal.
They look like marbles on the inside. Look like, I don't know, brain matter. They're really pretty ugly when you see the live turtle, and some of them are just covered. You know, big tumor over the eyes, so they're not can't eat, or in their mouths or something. So
We did have a new rule. If you're going to be a volunteer this year, and actually old volunteers have to be able to do this too to stay on, you have to be able to say and spell the word fibropapillomatosis. Not the short web one. Old.